Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, Vasalisa, Part 2. For this, as well as other adult women for whom the rigors of life itself cheapen distance them from their deeply intuitive lives, and whose plaint is often, "I'm so tired of taking care of myself," there is a good and wise remedy, a reaffirming of and retracing or reinitiation and reset of the deep intuition, regardless of a woman's age. And it is the deep intuition that knows what is good for us, knows what we need next, knows what is with lightning speed if we will just take down its dictation. Vasalisa's intuition begins with learning that to let die what must die. This means to let die the values and attitudes within the psyche which no longer sustain her, especially to be examined are those long-held tenets which make life so safe, which overprotect, which make women walk with scurry instead of astride. The time during which the childhood positive mother dwindles and her attitudes die away as well is always a time of great learning, although there is a period in our lives during which we rightfully remain close to the protective psychic mother, for instance, where we're actual children or during recovery from an illness of psychological or spiritual trauma, or when our lives are in danger, and being quiet will keep us safe. And even though we retain large stores of her succor for life, there also comes a time to change mother to speak. If we stay overlay long with the protective mother within our psyches, we find ourselves impending all challenges to ourselves and therefore blocking further development. Well, I do not in any way advise a woman ought to throw herself into torturous or abusive situations. I do mean she must set for herself as something in life that she is willing to reach for and therefore take risks for. It is through this process that she sharpens her intuitive powers. Among wolves, when a wolf mother nurses her pups, she and they spend much time lazing about. Everyone slumps over everyone else in grey puppy pile. The other world and the world of challenges are far away. However, when the wolf mother finally trains the pups to hunt and forage, she shows them her teeth more often than not. She snaps and demands they keep up. She shoves them down if they don't do what she requires. And so it is in order to pursue further development that we exchange the hovering internal mother which was so apt for us when we were young, but another kind of mother, one who lives even deeper in the psychic winterlands, one who is both escort and teacher. She's a loving mother, but also fierce and demanding. Most of us will not let the too good mother die just because it is time. Although these two good mother may not allow our most vivid energies to surface. It is so nice to be with her, so comfortable. Why leave? Often we hear voices within our minds which encourage us to hold back and stay safe. These voices may things like, "Oh, don't say that," or "You can't do that," or "Where you're certainly not one of my children," "If you do that," or "It's dangerous out there," or "Who knows what will become of you if you insist on leaving this warm nest," or "You're just going to humiliate yourself, Or even more insidious still, "Pretend you are taking risks, but secretly staying here with me." These are all voices of the frightening and rather exasperated too good mother within the psyche. She cannot help herself. She is what she is. Yet, if we merged with the too good mother for too long, our lives, our gifts for expression fall into the shadows, and we become scant instead of strong. And worse, what occurs when one compresses a vivid energy and allows it no life? Like that magic prodigy pot in the wrong hands, it grows and grows and grows until it explodes, spilling all of its goodness into the ground. So we must be able to see that for the intuitive psyche to be invigorated, the nice hovering protector must reside. Or perhaps more accurately, we eventually find ourselves pushed out earth, that nice cozy terre, not because we planned it that way, not because we were completely ready, no one is ever completely ready, but because there is something waiting for us at the edge of the woods, and it is our fate to meet it. Guillermo Apollinaire wrote, "We took them to the edge and bade them fly. They held on. Fly, we said. They held on. We pushed them over the edge, and they flew." It is typical for women to be afraid to let the too comfortable and too safe life die. Sometimes a woman has reveled in the protection of the too good mother, and so desires to continue ad infinitum. She must be willing to feel anxious sometimes, otherwise she might as well have stayed in the nest. Sometimes a woman is afraid to be without security or without certainty. For even a short time she has more excuses than dogs have hairs. She must just simply dive in and stand, not knowing what will happen next. It is the only thing which will retrieve her intuitive nature. Sometimes a woman is so bound up in being the too good mother to other adults that they have latched in onto her teats, and are not about to let her leave them. In this case, a woman has to kick them off with her hind leg and go on anyway. And since the dreaming psyche compensates for, among other things, that which the ego will not and cannot acknowledge, a woman's dreams during such a struggle will be filled compensatory with chases, dead ends, cars that will not start, incomplete pregnancies, and other symbols which image life not going forward. In her guts, a woman knows there is a deadliness in being the too sweet self for too long, so loosening our hold on the glowing archetype of ever sweet and too good mother of the psyche in the first step. We are off the teeth and learning hunt. There is a wild mother waiting to teach us, but in the meantime the second task is to hold onto the door while we learn its uses. Blessed.